This is going to be a short video talking about how do you create a Google form where you can assign participants in a semi-random fashion for some sort of experiment. So again, just as you're already familiar with, your survey title goes up at the top. Please be careful that your survey title does not give away what you're trying to test in your experiment, but it should be a title that you can easily remember for when you're trying to collect your data and find your data later on in your files. In addition, this should be your informed consent here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to start by creating a series of questions. And that one of the easy ways that we've often used is, what day of the month were you born? Oops, let's try that again. And then you can do this as multiple choice, and you can just add options. What I would recommend is that you, rather than blocking them, right? So the problem is if you do this as day 1 through 5, and this is 6 through 10, and this is 11 through 15, these may not necessarily be distributed in a random fashion. That the people that are born, for example, 16 through 20, people born towards the end of the month might be systematically different than people born at the beginning of the month for a variety of reasons. So what you might do is instead day 1, 5, 9, 13, right? This one might be days. Let's make this, should be say days, right? This should be days 2, 6, 10, 14. This might be days 3, 7, 11, 15, days 4, 8, 12, 16 days, 5. Okay, so we're already back to 5. Okay, so that gives us our beginning ones, right? So that gives us 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so this gives you at least your first half of the month. Then what you're going to do is you're going to assign these answers, and they're going to go to a specific sheet, go to a section based off an answer, okay? So now what you're going to do is you're going to need to create some new sections. So I'm going to add a section. This is going to be my, let's say, I wouldn't title it this, but this is just to help you know what section you're doing. Control group, experimental group. Okay, and so then I might assign that this group is going to go to control group, and this group is going to go to control group, and this group is going to go to control group, and then maybe this one goes experimental, this one goes experimental, and this one goes experimental. So here I've got 3 sets of groups that are going to the control group and 3 that are going to experimental. You want to have an equal probability that they're going to go into control and experimental groups. You don't want to have it so that there's a higher probability for certain people to go into one group more than another. So that might mean that you run these numbers a little bit longer. Maybe this goes 13, 16, maybe it goes 17. I don't know what the next one in that sequence would be, but you can calculate it, right? So this would be 18, this would be 19, this would be, let's see if I can get it, 20. So that means this one's going to be 21, 22, 23, 24. So you can see here that I can run these. Again, you want to make enough options so that, and you want to make it easy enough for them to understand. 28. That gets us pretty close, right? There's 28 days in the month. Then you might have, so then you might go, right? So this would be 29, 30, 31. That's going to get you pretty close. So this will cover most of your participants. There is a slightly higher probability, right, that they're going to be in the control group because there's 2 more days for some. So if the months have 31 days, but I think overall this is probably pretty close. I'm going to get rid of this one and this one and this one. So this is my setup for what day of the month where you were born. Based on the day, they're going to answer these, and this is going to send them to a series of questions. Now, please note that every question in this group must be the same as in experimental group, right? You cannot compare them unless everything in all the questions in the control group are the same for the experimental group. After they get to the end of this, okay, so then I need, this is not going to be my experimental group here. I'm going to move this one. Move it. I'm going to move it. I'm going to move this one up. There we go. This might be my demographics. So this is going to be where I ask them their questions. This is basically essentially my end of the survey. So after they get done with the control section, they should not go to the experimental section, right? They should all basically end up at the same spot in the survey. So what should happen is they should see the informed consent. It should ask them maybe what day of the month they were born. Potentially you could have your demographic questions here also in case you wanted to make your participants think this is part of you asking about their age and other things that are relevant. Then you're going to have whatever your control group is for some of your participants and your experimental group. So you might have a video shown to your control group and here a video for your experimental group. Then you're going to have maybe every participant after they get one of these answers the same series of questions. So you could put this here at the end of your survey. And then at the end, when they get done with that, they're going to complete the entire survey. They will be ready to go. Okay. So this kind of gives you an idea for how you might set up an experimental design in a survey.